There are many different games, novels, and stories that feature a protagonist who progresses and levels up from nothing. One of the earliest and most important things they'll need is some sort of headquarters to accept quests, evaluate their skill, and earn that sweet cash. Now this goes by many different names, but the one that you all may be familiar with is the Adventurers Guild. It is a great starting point for most new adventurers, but how credible are they as an organization? Are their own members able to clean up some of the most troublesome tasks? So why don't we go one step further and see if we can conquer some of the hardest quests in the world of Teyvat with one of their own advisors? Can we beat Genshin Impact with only Linnea? As always, here are the rules. I can only use Linnea. All weapons and banners are allowed, no food in combat, no co-op, and no cheats. So let's go ahead and start a new journey as a fellow adventurer. We start off by pulling the one and only Linnea.
Hello, I am you.
Hey there, I'm Linnea, an advisor with the Adventurers Guild.
And like always, we make our way towards Amber's domain, and we actually complete this one pretty fast this time.
Wait, how do you know?
Let's try this out. Whoosh. 1,000! Yeah, so a level 20 Linnea with 0 artifacts and a slingshot just hit 1,000 damage, and it's not even a crit. Just as a little comparison, level 40 Dahlia with a level 40 weapon and a full set of artifacts only hit Dvalin for 400 damage. Something tells me Lumi's gonna be a bit of a menace this run. The rest of Kai's domain is okay as we can just jump over the spikes, and Lisa's domain did take a few tries, but we managed to get the skip after a few times, so that is Act 1 complete. So it's just a bit of farming until we hit AR 10 and start Act 2. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, I actually wanted to do something during this because I thought it'd be a bit boring to just talk to chat for like 2 minutes, so I've got this prepared. Genshin time. What are we gonna guess? Let's just guess Farazan. Okay, 3.3, not Animo, not from Sumeru, not a bow. Let's go with Shilonen, not from Natlan, newer than that. And a sword, not Mizuki, not Escoffier. Skirk? Let's go. First up is the Eye of the... okay. Next up is Zamenhof, and Lumi is actually able to hit him when he's invisible. We are a Geo character, so we can't reveal him by applying our own element, but Lumi can just do that. Like, okay, what can't this goofy looking thing do? Now, ever since Farazan, I've lost my touch. I hit literally every single weak spot with Farazan, but with Linnea, didn't even stun this Ruin Guard a single time until the very end of the fight. Call me washed. Doesn't even matter though, because Lumi can just do all the work for me. Act 2 is complete. So, just a bit more farming until we hit AR 18 so that we can start the final act of Mondstadt.
So shiny. Lumi, no! You can't eat that!
This is my favorite voice line in the game right now. What is Lumi even eating? Maybe that's why she's packing a punch. Like, take a look at Dvalin's shield right here. Where did it go? Lumi, did you eat Dvalin's shield too? Unfortunately, Dvalin's health bar is a lot tankier than his shield, so we do take 2 phases here, but we do crit for 2,373 damage and take him down, bringing Mondstadt to a close with a time of 3 hours, 2 minutes, and 34 seconds. Really great start to the run, just over the 3-hour mark, putting her in 4th place overall, being only 3.5 minutes slower than Beidou and 5 minutes faster than Columbina. So, what is the secret to this very fast time of hers? Well, let's take a look at her kit and find out. Linnea is a Geo Bow character who is mainly played in Lunar Crystallized teams, but as a solo character, she's just a bit less Lunar. She still has strong and fast Geo damage and can still access Lunar Crystallized damage, but we'll get there in a bit. Linnea herself, we're not talking about Lumi just yet, as a bow character can use her charge shots to apply geo damage and guarantee crits against enemies with weak spots, which is like 90% of them at this stage of the game. Her normal attacks are kind of meh, but I found an optimal way to use some bow characters so that their normal attacks are stronger than their fully charged shots. Basically, if you input your attacks just right, just after you fire your second normal attack, you can immediately fire a charged shot which does 3 things. 1. The attack pattern is faster than regular charge shots. 2. It resets your attacks so you don't have to wait for the long 3rd shot wind up after. And 3. You can also aim the final shot so you can guarantee a crit. It's really effective and it doesn't use up any stamina, so your DPS is increased by a pretty decent amount. And also, if you need to dodge, your charge shot isn't interrupted. I didn't really do this until maybe about 8 or 9 hours in, because I figured it out during the run itself, but let's be real, Lumi is the elephant in the room here. This little booger is not to be messed with. Liyue has 3 different modes, which all do different things. Her superpower mode is just the regular skill. She attacks every 2 seconds and does 2 instances of geo damage and even does a big lunar crystallize attack if there are moon drifts around. Now moon drifts only spawn when the reaction takes place between Hydro and Geo, so we're not going to see a lot of this, but it's a pretty good damage boost overall. Now the next 2 modes only appear if you use her tap 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 Sohua skill. Okay, why the f did I put that in the script? Liyue turns f***ing massive and does one disgustingly big lunar crystallize attack and then turns into her last form, which is like her superpower mode but attacks twice as slow and can't do the enhanced lunar crystallize hit. In a regular team, both modes do the same amount of damage overall, but in most solo fights, Liyue can't do her lunar crystallize attack. Her front-loaded form will outdamage the normal skill. Basically, Linnea's skill is her main damage source, and most of the time, we're going to be using the regular one for more application against stuff like Abyss Mages, and her tap-tap skill for basically everything else that breathes. Her burst is nothing special. It's a heal that also refreshes Liyue's duration. It doesn't do any damage or anything, so it's really only there for the extra sustain, especially since Liyue's on-field duration is already longer than her cooldown. And since we're ascending Linnea, we've unlocked her Ascension passive, which reduces enemy geo resistance by 15%. We unfortunately don't get the Ascendant Gleam buff, which requires 2 nod-krai characters, so we're missing out on that 30% res shred, but it's still not too bad. Lastly, we have her Exploration talent, which makes her charge shot out of combat really fast, but it also does a lot less damage. You can basically mine rocks without having to mine them, and you can also collect animals, I guess. Honestly, really good Exploration talent, especially because we're a bow character and can't break rocks that fast. Another thing is that we have pretty low base HP, but our kit is based on defense, so we're not too squishy, and we always have our burst as well if things get rough. But that's enough about her kit. Let's move on to Liyue Act 1.
I'm not taking my sneakers off. I am Sneakers O'Toole.
Hey, take those sneakers off.
No!
Take them off, I said.
No!
Ah, let him go. We'll never catch him. Not in these shoes.
I didn't take my sneakers off. I'm still Sneakers O'Toole.
First up is Mooncarver, and we're smacking these guys for 5.7k damage. We're even one-shotting with non-crits here. And because of our reduced cooldown, it's even better to use our ultimate form here because we can just slam them way more often. I'm not even going to bother talking about Cloud Retainer here, so onto Mountain Shaver where we can use Liyue to break the rocks way faster. If she feels like it. Where is this guy? Hello? Where is this guy? I've made it to the top of the mountain. I swear if he's not in any of these. Don't tell me he's in that one right there. If I missed that one and that's the exact one he's hiding in, I'm gonna be so angry. Hit him, Liyue. Last up was the Ruin Hunter, but Liyue put in the work this time as well, so we go back to Child to finish Act 1. Act 2 starts with the pot where we hit another new high of 7,423, and even though we hit hard, we can't light the pot. You're up, Amber. The only real problem in Madame Ping's teapot this time is the Geo Slime because it is immune to Geo damage. Its shield can still be broken by Liyue, but we've got to physical attack it to death for us to collect the cleansing bell. I'm gonna charge you. Whoosh, headshot. You get one too. You get one as well. Oh. But with that done, Act 2 is complete. So let's talk about Ascension. Linnea's materials are all found in the new Dorman port area in Mondstadt, which is great because it's easy to get to, until you realize that there's only 29 moths here. The only downside to this is that we're just going to be slightly behind later in the run, as it is 4 lots of collections for level 80, but it's not a big issue or anything, and you'll see exactly why. There's more in the space of Asmodee, but I'm not going to spend time doing the world quest for the challenge run. We have enough in the overworld anyways. Her boss, on the other hand, is probably like the most chill boss released in the Lunar patches. Like, it's really easy to fight. There's no one-hit KO, all of its moves are easy to dodge, and even though it has a defensive phase like a bunch of the other bosses, there's no disadvantage to not stopping it with the intended mechanics, and there's nothing really stopping you from attacking it. We can literally just still hit it, and Liyue can too. Once it finishes this phase, it just does 2 big attacks where we can just dodge without a problem, so it's just a very simple boss. We can even stagger it. One of the best bosses I've fought against since Knuckle Duckle. I would even say it's better. Her weapon is a slingshot. I don't know why I put recurve bow here in the script, but her weapon is a slingshot, which is just the Liyue weapon domain, so a bunch of electro slimes. Out of all the characters I've done, she's probably one of the easiest characters to farm for. So, it's time for Liyue Act 3. The air pressure from Lumi's slam should be enough for the windmill, but alas, that's not enough to make it spin. Alright Mizuki, might as well make the most of you. Yeah, get out of here. These guys have been really slack lately. And same as the Whopper Flowers, but Child on the other hand is still putting up a fight. As you can see, we're doing our new combo against the guy and it's working. But do you know what works even better?
Good. No wonder Senora was so brave.
By the way, just so you all know, I purposely make it somewhat of a rule where I don't level artifacts past what the Adventure Handbook recommends, so we're basically capped right now at level 4 3-star artifacts. And this is the damage we're already doing. Like, okay Lumi, sheesh, I've gotta start feeding you dirt or something. You need to calm down a bit. Like, what is the point of the rain here if we just one-shot them anyways? I mean, we still summon Moondrifts here, but with the buffs we've given, it's just a free fight anyways. And that is Liyue complete in 9 hours, 9 minutes and 11 seconds. Still in 4th place, so we're doing amazing here. Also, I've noticed recently that the Mondstadt and Liyue placements don't really change too much, but the final times can be drastically different. Take Dahlia as an example. So we are blocking out these times to make it a big surprise at the end. Time to take a trip back to Mondstadt, and this is where we're going to start to see a lot of Abyss Mages, so this is where our regular skill comes into play. It also helps that this fight has a Hydro Abyss Mage, so it spawns Moondrifts which help break their shields faster. Regular Abyss Mages take a bit longer, but Cryo Mages are an exception, because Lumi does heavy attacks, which means they break a bit faster compared to other Elemental Mages. It also helps because they drop Crystallize Shards, which means we take a lot less damage from them during the fights. We actually use our alternate skill here against the Ruin Hunter, even though there are Cryo Mages around, just so we can take down the Hunter faster, with the downside of hitting the mages just a bit less often. But now it is time for the big bad guy. Baddie may be, but biggie may be not, because we be bamming the not so big bad. In Razor language, Moondrift, very good. They actually don't do that much compared to our charge attacks and Lumi, but they still help. They're doing something, unlike some of our last few characters. Dane, demolished. Come on, come on. Okay, that's cool. It'll be a shame if I don't get Eye Perception on another account. Go home, Faye the Flyer. We're not even at Inazuma yet, and we've already beaten half the roster in damage for their entire runs. I'm just saying, we have the potential to go so much further, so why don't we see for ourselves with the start of the next act? The transport balloon is for... Okay, just cut me off again, I guess. Let's just find something else to do instead. Come along, little one. The police station... Okay, can you just give us one fight where we can't win? Thank you. After being humbled so bad, we're gonna need to go through some training. Luckily for us, we are a bow user, so there's no need to pull out anyone for this. We've got it this time. Just to prove our own archery skills, we beat down this guy without the help of Lumi, and there we have it. Act 2 is complete. So straight into Act 3. We can't light the monuments here, but what about this guy? He is a bit tankier than the other enemies we've faced so far, but that doesn't stop us from kablamming this guy good. So now we've reached the Delusion Factory, which means we've reached the part in the video where I say a hot take and... What the hell, is that a new damage high? Okay, well, we're stronger than Skirk now, I guess. Looks like we're gonna be short on time for the ongoing bit I have here, so I'll make it quick. They need to ban doors on apartments that self-lock when they close behind you, because if you leave your keys inside, you're screwed. Totally didn't happen to me in the last week or so at 1 AM, so I had to go to a friend's house to sleep overnight because the locksmith didn't pick up the damn phone even though they advertised themselves as 24 hours, and then I had to pay them the same amount as the largest Genshin top-up bundle. Can't relate. Oh, so, Senora, have you ever been locked out of your place of residence? Okay, I didn't even know she did this, but apparently if you do more than 30% of her health bar in the cryo phase, she does big damage to you and also fills your temperature bar up to max. Although I didn't really realize it at first, so I did it again. Also, Lumi can trigger the moth attack, so after picking up this one here, she instantly goes into her next phase. Her pyro phase is a bit tankier though, so our big hit is doing less than a quarter of her health. Like the other long-ranged character runs, we're gonna stay close to her as it's a lot easier to dodge her melee attacks. Also, I didn't realize this one as well, but she has the same mechanic as the cryo phase, where if you do more than 20% of her health in one attack, she mitigates the rest and fills your bar. Except we didn't do any damage to her whatsoever here, so what the hell? Why did this trigger? Again, I didn't know this, so I'm actually thankful she interrupted our next charge up. And as she made our way back to the center to do her spitting move, we hit her with the smash and then take her down just as she transformed. It's actually a good thing that we didn't crit here, because otherwise we would have gone past the 20% threshold and might not have been able to defeat her otherwise. But now it all comes down to the one and only Raiden Shogun, where we hit a buffed damage high of... Okay, she dodged that one, fair enough. But with our skill backup, we hit a buffed damage high of 16,709. So, isn't this the same number as our unbuffed damage high? Are we even buffed at all? I mean, yeah, our normal attacks are still doing more damage, but our attack stat is still the exact same. So, what's the issue here then? Is it because we're doing lunar reaction damage? I can't find any info on the buff anywhere. If anyone knows, please comment down below because I'm genuinely confused. But we do take her down even without having her skill buffed and finish Inazuma in 14 hours, 15 minutes and 39 seconds. Wow, another Eye of Perception, hooray. Really wanted that, thank you game. So it's now Chasm time. Oh ho, hello Hydro Herald. Looks like you want a rematch. Okay then, if you can hit me once you win. Well, look at that! Easy! I won't say the same thing to you, Electrolictor, I know my limits. I've already talked about Abyss Mages, they're not really a problem at all, so let's just get out of the hole and move on to our next goal. The Withering is no problem for us. We attack the Roses while Lumi attacked the Posers. And now we are stronger than Columbina and Nefer. We're only halfway through the run and we've already hit 20k. Go, Lumi! And with Act 1 out of the way... What the hell?
Just feel sorry, and this can be over. Don't you dare badmouth myself.
Can I separate? You're a ding dong! Get away! Get away! Get away! Oh, they're still fighting! There's only one person that can solve this. John Pork! You're trolling!
Sorry.
What the hell happened to you? Why is your hair green? Alright, there's only one other person that can solve this issue. Oh, okay, you don't know them. Alright, Anefa. I know you got it, Anefa. Okay, I don't know about that one. Let's go, Anefa. Hurrah! The only problem with Rift Hounds is that these ones go crazy if we hit them with Geo. They do lose quite a lot of Geo resistance though, so maybe we'll use this to our advantage later in the run. But for now, there's only 2 of the Geo Rift Hounds, so we're chilling. Crazy headshot streak by the way. The Elazar Hospital is pretty easy for us because we're a bow character. We can just hit the monuments from range so we get a bit of extra time to hit them. The only thing left here is the fungi in the temple, which can easily be shot down by our bow. So Act 4 goes by with no problems at all. So straight into Act 5.
I'm fine.
If you can't tell here, my hand started dying after doing this combo for the last how many hours, so I'm not getting it perfect anymore, but no worries, Lumi's got my back. For the 100th time. And the same is true in the Foundry as well. Unlike the last couple of times, we don't need to reset this Electro Hammer because Lumi's Big Slam has such a massive AoE, it basically almost one-shots both of these guys here. Yeah, it's pretty much the same for the Fatui here, so let's just move on to the fight you've all been waiting for. The first phase goes by quick because our Big Slam takes out half the health bar. Skara doesn't have any defensive countermeasures like Signora, so we're able to just beat him up with no second thoughts. On to the second phase, where we can take down his shield, and then take down his turrets, which Lumi can also hit, and then knock him down, so we can do the new record on the channel for unbuffed damage, 39,910. Just think about this for a second. Scaramouche has negative 140 geo resistance here, which contributes a lot, but we ourselves aren't even at our max potential. We're level 60, which means reduced base stats, which includes defense. We haven't gotten our next Ascension talent, which gives us a lot of EM. Our artifacts are only level 12, we're still on a 3-star weapon, our talents haven't been leveled, we still have a lot of room to grow. So let's just finish up Sumeru. With a time of 21 hours, 4 minutes and 25 seconds. And we've already broken our previous high. Back it up, Scaramouche. I made sure this domain doesn't give us any buffs as well. We're just that strong. This guy got sent straight to a shield phase, and then Lumi and I just tag teamed this ugly. We out of here. Let us begin the most combatless region with the Maritime flowers, and we have no special way to make them bloom this time, so back to the Hydrogranum trick we go. Now these mecha are tankier than even Scaramouche, but a couple of hits and they're both gone. Also, where is the Lepine Pauline blocker? I talked about it last run with Dahlia because it was the first time we got blocked since like half a year ago, but this time she just disappeared off the face of the earth or something. Like, where did she go? I mean, I'm not complaining or anything because it saves a good 5 minutes or so, but why is it so inconsistent? You can't really say anything about the accounts themselves because Linnea is timed to the same account as Dahlia, so they were both made on the exact same date. Here it is. Yes! Yes! Let's go. Breaking news! We're poor. Our slingshot is still better than her level 20 signature right now, so we're not going to use it just yet. We'll go farm for it after we finish up Fontaine. Time for the torture chamber. Aha, but you've got it wrong. This time it isn't a torture chamber for me. It's for them. If I can stun the Ruin God just one bloody time. Ah, screw it. Eat this hammer. We knock down the Anima Rogue and finish off the Hydro Rogue before sending in another slam, and then missing the stun. Again. Ah, fuck's sake, get him, Lumi. Looks like you need bigger prey. No, no, you can't eat that. Okay, I'm not going to show this boss because you can just beat it with a toenail. So like always, we've completed our quick in and out of Fontaine in 28 hours, 23 minutes, and 29 seconds. So let's get even stronger by farming for her bow. The nod-krai weapon domain is similar to the talent domain, which I didn't even show earlier, but I did level them all up to 6. I'll explain them both here. There's just a bunch of Fatui soldiers and one big bad one at the end. The talent domain has a sword guy and the weapon domain has the gun girl, just basically the same thing. It doesn't really matter to Lumi anyways because she can just... And I also ran out of Fatui warrants, so I had to go farm them because they're pretty common in nod-krai anyways. The last thing on the list are the domain keepers, which can be found in Dormant Port. We already have waypoints unlocked from gathering our ascension materials, so they are pretty close by. They are kinda tanky, but luckily for us, they don't really attack that hard and they drop a lot of materials, so that's great. We can now level up our weapon to 60, which should be enough, as well as purposely switch back to a 4-star artifact. It makes it a bit more comfortable with the increased crit rate from the Berserker's set and the extra elemental mastery. If my calculations are correct, it gives us a bit more DPS compared to the 5-star artifact, because of the 32 crit rate instead of 20. Oh, I'm not CP just yet. I've got to find out how much damage we can do with our new weapon. We dragged the Pyromage to the water here, but honestly we probably could have just taken them on 1v3. Oh, I mean 2v3 with no problems whatsoever. I'm tired, but okay, I'm not seeing things, right? 92710. Okay, sorry, just give me a second. This can't be real, right? 92710. What the action? I'm sorry. The last character to break the high was Mawika, but we're more than double her damage. Excuse me? This is absolutely bonkers. One hit Lecter. Hello? I guess we're slowed down by a shield, but that's still so incredibly fast. Dahlia took more than a minute for its regular health bar, and you're telling me we're just deleting the entire thing just like that? Lumi, no, you can't fucking eat that. We're entering Natlan with one goal and one goal only. Coming out alive. No Ode of Resurrection necessary. We're not dying a single time against the Abyss. The Abyssal Pylon is first on the chopping block, and luckily for us, Lumi has somewhat of a brain and hits the pylon with us. I'm pretty sure she targets whatever we target, so it feels really nice. We have constant geo damage, so the shield breaks pretty fast. It's not as fast as some characters like Skirk and Flynn's, but it just doesn't feel terrible like Beto or Dahlia. It's actually not too bad. Act 2 has the Ancient Name fight, and we basically one-tap the Yunquisors, and the Pyro Mage is also easy because we can Pyro Crystallize for more sustain. The rest of the fights here are just Lumi going nuts, so let's fast forward to this fight in Act 3. I thought we were going to be lucky with the rain here, but it disappeared as soon as I entered the battle, so bummer. Still, we one-shot the Hydro Gunner and the Electro Hammer put up its shield really early, so feels really annoying, but we managed to take down the other two as well. Yeah, don't worry about the second wave. they weren't going to be trouble anyways. Act 4 starts off here, and unfortunately we didn't crit against the cryo gunner, so it did put up its shield, but we mowed our way through him anyways. And the same thing happened in this fight too. The agent was so annoying because he kept on changing my normal attack aggro even though my charged attacks were aimed at the cryo gunner, so I sent out Liyue to deal with the fucker. Here's where we're really put to the test. Remember, no resurrections. I chose the Wolfhounds here because I thought it would be significantly faster than the Electromage, but I kinda underestimated just how much HP the big ones had. For most of the fights following this one, the game plan was to send out regular Liyue to whittle down the Abyssal Shields faster, and then send out Ultimate Liyue when they got broken. Basically a flawless plan. None of the Mimiflora were able to regenerate their shields, and we knocked them all down in one phase. And it even worked well against these Rift Hounds. The Geo Rift Hounds get negative 40% Geo resistance once their meter is filled up, so we want to use regular Liyue at first to hit them with a bunch of Geo. And because the Rift Hounds will have less Geo resistance than other enemies, we actually do manage to hit another damage high of 101,000 damage. Just when I thought we hit our peak at 92k, we've gone one step further and hit 6 digits. 6 beautiful digits. Can you believe that? Not a single DPS could do it, but Linnea, an off-field unit, is the very first solo character to hit 6 whole digits. But it doesn't even stop there. After doing the burning trick on this pylon, we hit yet again another damage high of 115,322. That is triple the last damage high set by Malwika. You all saw it here first. It takes 3 Pyro Archons to take down a goofy blob with a hammer that can only say Yahoo! Okay, look, fair enough. We had a Trial-Jalonin in our party that does reduce Geo resistance, but we got the exact same number in Act 5 somewhat naturally anyways. But with that, we celebrate the 2070 Fallen Heroes and head off on new adventures, completing the run with a final time of 35 hours, 35 minutes, and 59 seconds. We have taken 3rd place from Flynn's, being an hour and 25 minutes faster than him. We're also only 21 minutes behind Skirk, but that's honestly amazing considering that Skirk was a pre-nod-krai run. If we only take into account all the runs post-nod-krai, Linnea is in an undisputed 1st place on the ladder. But that's not the only thing that matters. Let's chuck her into the ratings and see how well she actually did. For combat, you already know, it's an obvious 5. You just saw it happen. She hit 6 digits. It's never been done before in one of my solo runs, and I don't even know if it will happen again. You've seen the other ones, they don't come close. If our bow was leveled even more, and if we got a bit luckier on artifacts, I don't know if there would be anything that could stop us. Honestly, this run could almost be Liyue only. But there are some things that Linnea is still useful for. Her bow spam method actually does decent damage. It's not quite there compared to Liyue, but it's still good in certain situations. Geo-resistant or immune enemies, as well as other enemies that have weak spots to stun them. Her being a bow character is actually really great for combat utility in general. Her burst even gives her a pretty good amount of sustain, it can heal us back to full from literally nothing, and it doesn't even need to do damage because of how broken Liyue is. Other characters I've wanted to give a 6 for combat don't even come close to Linnea. She's like an 8 out of 5. For farming, it's another 5. Her boss? Easy. Its attacks are really easy to dodge, it doesn't have any restrictive mechanics, and you can't even hit it in its charging phase. Most chill boss since Knuckle Duckle. Her talent domain? Easy. Literally just for TUI troops. Her weapon domain? Easy. Exactly the same thing. The only thing that kinda sucks is her local specialty because there's only 29 of them in the overworld, but that's not even that much of an issue. I was slightly behind, but only because I timed my collections wrong. It wasn't even the game's fault this time. Realistically, you only need 7 consecutive days to collect enough for level 80, and by then, I'm usually starting or finishing Fontaine depending on how busy I am. You can also just unlock the Face of Asmodee if you really can't wait that many real-life days, so it's completely fine. I don't want to be that guy and deduct a point simply due to my own error, so I'm keeping it at 5. For exploration, surprise, it's another 5! Linnea as a bow character already has great exploration. She can basically solve all sorts of puzzles like Bloaty Floaties, monuments from range, elemental barrels. She's already a great unit just from that. But that's not all. She's a Geo character, which means her charged attacks can break rocks. But that's not all. Her exploration talent lets her collect a bunch of rocks in a group anyways, so you don't have to individually break them. But that's not all. If you can't break something fast, Liyue's here to save the day. Linnea doesn't have any movement capabilities, but I think she has way too many other exploration upsides in her kit. I didn't even put this in the script, and I'm realizing this just now, so this is me ad-libbing right now. She also has that extremely charged fast shot that can just break stuff really fast. Also, she can net animals without the animal net tool. Not so useful, but still amazing. Giving her anything less than a 5 here would be criminal. And lastly, enjoyment. To be completely honest, I had mixed feelings going into this run. Believe it or not, I actually didn't want to do Linnea only at first because I thought she was going to be similar to Escoffier. Just a sit still and do nothing character because her turret does basically everything for her. But as I was reading up about her and going through the run, I realized that this just wasn't the case at all. In my opinion, Linnea turned out to be so much more interesting and interactive. Now it may have looked very one-sided for all of you watching because Liyue is just hitting like a truck and it's like 35 hours condensed into 30 minutes or so, but there was a lot more than just big numbers on my end of the challenge. Sure, it was an easier challenge than most, but I had a lot of fun. I've grown to like Linnea and Liyue a lot more, and I found the chemistry between the two to be so funny and adorable. Their voice lines are some of the best. That's why I'm giving Linnea a 5. So Linnea, yet again, breaks another record with a perfect score of 20 out of 20. It doesn't get much better than this. After experiencing some of the slowest times with Farazan and Dahlia, we've rebounded back with an amazing run and an amazing character. You can tell because I didn't crash out once this video. I don't know if any future characters will come close to what I've witnessed in the last couple of weeks, but then again, I said the exact same thing in Malwika only, and we've tripled her damage high, so anything's possible at this point. With that, we've now reached the end, so go ahead and chuck a like on the video and subscribe if you want to see more challenge runs. The next one is finally going to be French Fontaine. I will not put out anything else until I've done that one. I've been putting it off for months, I am sorry. Lama and Emily are still in my basement, and I'm still thinking about Nicole, Lenny, and Sijuin. Oh, also Candace is another character I'm thinking of doing, because I did read that one comment and I realized I actually have a Candace only account, but I've done 2 Hydro characters recently, so I kind of want to try something else first. But that is it for now. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.